Ladies and gentlemen, the man, the myth, the legend, the absolute GOAT, Eric Voss, is here with the breakdown for one of the most anticipated movies for me, Deadpool and Wolverine, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I was excited for Godzilla Kong. Couldn't wait for that. Seen it. It was amazing. I'm excited for the Planet of the Apes. That's gonna be amazing. I just watched the little story trailer. But Deadpool and Wolverine, like, this one's gonna hit different. I absolutely love Deadpool. That's like my favorite guy in comics.
Welcome back to New Rockstars. I'm Eric Voss, and this is a frame-by-frame breakdown of the new trailer for Deadpool and Wolverine. I scrubbed through this trailer to find every Easter egg.
That's exactly why I didn't watch any other person. I literally waited. There was like 3 videos that popped up with breakdowns and stuff like that. 143 breakdowns or da-da-da. I was like, don't care. Waiting for Eric Voss. That's who I'm waiting for. I hear someone.
143,000 is a lot, but this dude sounds like the abominable snowman from Monsters Incorporated.
So we were watching another video. He's not talking about you. We were watching a video before this.
You might have missed, and thank Marvel Jesus that I took my time with this, because there are dozens of details hidden in between the obvious highlight cameos that I can't believe are hidden in this trailer. I'm gonna cover it all for you, and you can support New Rockstars with one of our Deadpool and...
I'm gonna get it, bro. I'm gonna get it, man. I'm gonna get it from Marvel. Try to take it down, bro. I'm gonna get that bit right now.
Wolverine shirts or one of our other Marvel designs over...
Eric, what is this? Eric, what is this? Eric, what is this? Where's the shirt at? With a shirt that's as cool as that, I think that'd be the first. Oh my God.
Nerdriot.shop. All right, let's get started.
I told you, you're not welcome here. You're not welcome anywhere. Now get the fuck out of my bar.
Just give me one more drink and then I'll leave.
Hi, Peanut. I'm gonna need you to come with me right now.
Okay, so the trailer opens in a bar in where else? Canada! There are Canadian flags hanging throughout the bar. There's also a Calgary Flames logo over Deadpool's shoulder. Canada is obviously important to
Sorry, what do you mean has he reacted to Kendrick? That nigga did not drop, bro.
And Reynolds, where he comes from, but in the universe, it is the origin point and the refuge of Wolverine when he wants to go off the grid. This shot approaching Logan from behind reminds us of the shot of Logan from the...
What do you mean you watched the trailer but didn't have the audio on? Bro, you not fucking with Deadpool and Wolverine, bro. Yo, you're right.
When he wants to go off the grid. This shot approaching Logan from behind reminds us of the shot of Logan from the Wolverine Insomniac game trailer. And just to the right of Logan on this bar top is this jar with a label. Just put the tip in, see how it feels. And I'm pretty sure those are blue condoms in the jar. So obviously it's a sex joke, but this bar is double dipping on collecting tips while encouraging safe sex, which I imagine is completely lost on the barflies we see in the background of this bar. Of course, we often see Wolverine in bar fights, from the 2000 X-Men film when he severed that shotgun, to 2011's X-Men First Class when he told Charles and Eric to go f themselves, to the 2013 bar fight with the dudes who killed that bear, and then the removed ending scene from the 2013 film that would have called back that same bar in the 2000 X-Men film. But I'm wondering, could this bar fight be the man with metal claws fights in bar brawl from the headline in She-Hulk? You'll notice Hugh Jackman in this movie a similar hair length and appearance to that 2013 James Mangold Wolverine film, which after the first 3 X-Men films and 2009's X-Men Origins Wolverine was really the first to reconceive Logan as a more grounded, tortured human just struggling with his aging body. And as I watch this trailer, I'm just reminded of how good of an actor Hugh Jackman is and how much he's bringing to this movie. Now, this bartender tells Logan that he's not welcome here, he's not welcome anywhere. It's not really clear if Logan is being discriminated against as a mutant, or if this bartender knows that he's Wolverine and that Wolverine disappointed mutant kind by letting a lot of the mutants die. Or, you know, Logan could just be some asshole who doesn't pay his tab. But this bartender is played by Greg Hemphill, actor and writer from Still Game, but notice how his audio doesn't match what the bartender actually seems to be doing here.
I told you, you're not welcome here. You're not welcome anywhere.
Yeah, notice how you don't really see his mouth move? And if he's cutting Logan off from drinks, why does this bartender reach for the whiskey to pour him another round?
Because he's gonna hit him over the head.
Tender does say these words, it's just in a different part of the scene, and they're using trailer editing to reconstruct it here. Now, the new poster released for this film on Sunday evoked the poster for the 2017
I love this
Logan
poster.
film, the one that had X-23
That is
Laura's
hilarious.
hand grabbing one of Wolverine's claws, and this poster has Deadpool kind of flirtingly stroking it with his finger. So despite Ryan Reynolds promising that they would not touch the events of the Logan film, they are totally going there. And remember, the reason things were so nightmarish in that 2017 Logan film is that we learned in that movie that anti-mutant toxins had been fed into the food supply through corn syrup. But if Logan's diet consists mostly of aged whiskey, there's no way tainted corn syrup would have gotten into those barrels, especially if it was aged whiskey. So our man's really 12 steps ahead, and he's probably gonna need to get started on the other 12 steps. And I like how Deadpool calls Logan Peanut, which is the nickname Scott Lang calls his daughter Cassie. And there is a giant Ant-Man corpse in this trailer.
Yeah.
And I don't really know if it's connected, but we'll talk about it more later. Let's move on.
Bet.
Lady, I'm not interested.
All right, well, I'm sort of on the tick-tick, so upsy daisy. Here we go. Oh, whiskey dick of the claws. It's quite common in Wolverines over 40.
You don't want this.
Unless you want to take a deep breath through your forehead, I suggest you reconsider.
Okay, so Logan tells Deadpool, look, lady, I'm not interested, which seems like a dig at Deadpool's slim figure, but the Super Bowl trailer included a brief shot of Deadpool's gloves firing Uzis, and those were different gloves than what Deadpool normally has in this trailer, which makes us think that the rumors that we will see a lady Deadpool could be true, and that she might be played by Reynolds' wife, Blake Lively. Deadpool
That
says
would
he's
be absolutely hilarious.
on the tick. And remember,
Yo,
with
that's
this
fire.
new suit, Deadpool would have just come directly from the TVA, and he may have run into Miss Minutes, and he's kind of got a TVA time clock and Miss Minutes on his mind. But Wolverine's adamantium claws only extend about an inch out of his knuckles, which Wade cannot help but make an erectile dysfunction joke about. And in 2017's Logan, his opening fight with the thugs at the road stop has a similar moment where 2 out of his 3 claws extend almost fully, but the third one just gets jammed.
That's so
embarrassingly.
disgusting.
Deadpool points its gun at Logan's head, and you can see "Smile, wait for the flash" engraved on the tip. And I like how Logan leans into the gun with a smile forming on his face as if he's obeying these instructions and waiting patiently for the bang. Wolverine
Badass.
has taken shots to the head before, like in X2 from the Boston PD, where his healing ability pushed the bullet back out, or in X-Men Origins of Wolverine, where Stryker shot him with an adamantium bullet that
Stryker!
In the 2017 Logan film, he carries around another adamantium bullet, which is implied will kill him, especially when X-23 Laurie uses it to kill Logan's adult X-24 clone. But whether memory loss or certain death, Wolverine welcomes either result. Let's move on.
I'm about to lose everything that I've ever cared about.
Not my fucking problem.
Is that what you said when your world went to shit?
Come again.
Okay, so we can't really play it for you because it's licensed music, but the music we hear throughout this trailer is Madonna's Like a Prayer, a 1989 title that was meant to be a reference to her breakout earlier hit, Like a Virgin. But for this song, Madonna's lyrics were meant to show her maturation with gospel elements, a song told from the point of view of a girl declaring her love for God, the only man in her life. But whether or not Madonna and her songwriter meant it sincerely or kind of, like subvertively, we'll never know. But the music video for Like a Prayer featured a black Jesus being crucified in kind of this flirty relationship with Madonna. And narratively in the music video, this Jesus was a scapegoat, falsely arrested after a bunch of white men killed a white woman. And this music video...
So were people mad about that or what? Because Madonna still get praise to this day. But when Lil Nas X fucking twerked on the devil, he the bad guy, man. Come on, man.
was very controversial. A number of religious groups, including the Vatican, condemned it. But Ryan Reynolds, I believe, uses the song of Like a Prayer in a few different ways in this trailer. One, he kind of uses it with this ironic wink, as it is an 80s pop ballad, contrasting this aggressively violent, virile energy of this trailer. But it does kind of feel like Wade is embracing the only man in his life as Wolverine stands
Nigga, huh? She got flamed. Yay, hey, dumbass. Did you hear the part where I say she still prays today? Fucktard.
over Deadpool, kind of like a god finding a soul in the afterlife. But also, obviously, the song reflects the idea of Deadpool himself being Marvel Jesus. Now, what does he really mean by saying he's Marvel
It's like, just comprehend the things that come out like of people's mouths.
Jesus? I don't think he means he's like a hero or a god, but really like a sacrificial sin eater. I think it means that Deadpool's gonna try to take the place of Logan and every other Marvel anchor whose death results in the death of the universe. Someone online have pointed out that this day, 36 years ago, April 22nd, 1989, Like a Prayer topped the Billboard charts, beginning a 6-week run. But Ryan Reynolds responded saying that totally was not planned. Okay, we move on to the beginning a 6-week run. Years ago, April 22nd, 1989, Like a Prayer topped the Billboard charts, beginning a 6-week run. run, but Ryan Reynolds responded saying that that totally was not planned. Okay, we move on to the dusty wasteland of the...
Interesting.
Listen to what you just said.
Interesting.
But when Little Nas X twerked on
Ryan
the
Reynolds
devil's
responded
insane
saying that that totally
LMFAO.
was not
I know, bro. It's insane, isn't it?
planned. Okay, we move on to the dusty wasteland of the void. 5. Once again, we see the partially submerged 20th Century Fox logo, and the X of the word Fox remains visible above the ground. As in Fox's X-Men movies, they often would linger the X for a few frames on the opening fades to black. And ever since Disney's buyout of Fox, the division has been forced to drop the Fox and just go by 21st Century. Also visible in this place is the tip of Toronto's CN Tower, obviously another Canada reference. There's also the stern of this vessel. I was trying to figure out what this was. I was wondering maybe it's the shell of the USS Eldridge from Loki episode 5 when Eliath devoured it, or maybe it's the helicarrier where Deadpool fought Francis in the 2016 Deadpool. Either way, this is a pretty small ship. It's not like, you know, the stern of the Titanic or something. And behind the 20th Century Fox logo, there's some mountain peak that we were not able to see before in past trailers. I'm wondering maybe this is like Woundagore Mountain, you know, the one where the Scarlet Witch supposedly died. Behind Wolverine, there is some kind of airship crashed into the mountainside. I was thinking maybe the Hindenburg if it didn't explode, or maybe it's that Hydra Zeppelin that we saw for a few frames in that alternate reality in Multiverse of Madness when Doctor Strange and America Chavez were just like tumbling through.
That part was so fire.
You know, like the 12 seconds when Multiverse of Madness actually lived up to his title. Logan,
bro, I was about to say that's the only part I really remember, like, from this
mountainside.
shit.
I was thinking maybe the Hindenburg if it didn't explode, or maybe it's that Hydra Zeppelin that we saw for a few frames in that alternate reality in Multiverse of Madness when Doctor Strange and America.
Chat, what's the movie with Wanda when WandaVision killed all the like the Fantastic Four guy and all that shit? What was that movie? Oh, that was in this one? Yeah, okay. So I remember this part and then I remember that part. That part was cool when she literally looked like a fucking villain.
Hydra Zeppelin that we saw for a few frames in that alternate reality in Multiverse of Madness when Doctor Strange and America Chavez were just like tumbling through reality after reality. You know, like the 12 seconds when Multiverse of Madness actually lived up to his title. Logan walks through this wheat field.
It was wait, that was literally, it was clickbait. That movie was clickbait, bro.
What's with niggers trying to press the religious views on you, an actual stranger? Parasocial as hell. Keep your Islam, Christianity, Judaism, Scientology, tarot card reading, astrology, thought beliefs off stream, bozo. I don't even know who you are.
Bro. All I literally said, like, and it wasn't even like serious. It was like in passing. I was literally just saying, yo, Madonna literally had a black Jesus and people hate Lil Nas X because her song literally like charted on the Billboard and Lil Nas X got hate because he twerked on the devil. It's like, yo. Like, why did he get so mad, bro?
Style with this row of endless pillars. These seem to be.
He's like, hey, are you fucking stupid? Madonna got chastised. All right.
Monuments or headstones for fallen X-Men. But the fact that they're all in a row at least reminded me, as a Lost fanatic, of that sonic frequency perimeter fence that kept out the smoke monster from one side of the island to the other. And I was thinking, hey,
girlfriend's merch? Is that disrespectful to the guy I watch? Especially if her face is on it?
Wait, hold on. Is it weird if I buy someone I watch girlfriend's merch? Is that disrespectful to the guy I watch, especially if her face is on it? Is this person a friend? Like, if it's a friend, I mean, they should see it as like support. You know? I don't know, but like, what's on the merch? Is it like her face? Is she doing something like crazy in the picture? Like, what are we talking about? Play the vid, Unk, I'm tired. Go to sleep, Swaggy 444. It's 8:50. What are you so tired for?
maybe this barrier could be in the void to keep Eliath out. But like, looking at how surreal this imagery is, this isn't the same part of the void that we see Eliath in the rest of the trailer. Looking more closely at these columns, each one kind of has almost a pyramid structure, and there's this like vertical insert that is carved into the sides, and within each insert—
Tired of you pausing? Would you rather me— I don't want to talk over the video, bruh. And because I had to address you, I just had to pause again, bro.
In those shadows, you can see some kind of disc that I assume might be the plaque referring to the name that each statue memorializes. And I want to say that these columns almost look like the Sentinel ships from the opening prologue of X-Men Days of Future Past. So maybe each one of these is for a different X-Men who was killed by a Sentinel or something like that. But if this isn't the void, I wonder if this could be that kind of third act flashback that Deadpool jokes about in the other part of the trailer. Like, this could be—
I'm sorry.
Lol, it's a picture of her face and I plan to masturbate on it later, but I won't tell.
moment where Cassandra Nova projects Logan into the astral plane to make him suffer all the X-Men that he allowed to die, because it's just so dreamlike and surreal. It kind of feels like the kind of thing that when we see the 90s X-Men animated series, like when characters are taken to the astral plane, it tends to be more surreal and metaphorical like this.
Can we focus? All right, y'all telling me to focus, like,
Entire world.
By Sentinel or something like that. But if this isn't the Void, I wonder if this could be that kind of third act.
Okay, this okay, because this was all he was just speculating everything, bro.
Flashback that Deadpool jokes about in the other part of the trailer. Like, this could be a moment where Cassandra Nova projects Logan into the astral plane to make him suffer all the X-Men that he allowed to die.
I'm sorry. I just want to. Oh, I can't hear nothing. Off topic, but you ever watched the movie Champions about the special needs basketball team with Woody Harrelson? No, I seen the trailer for it and it looked very wholesome. But I wasn't trying to cry, so I didn't watch it. I haven't watched it.
Because it's just so dreamlike and surreal. It kind of feels like the kind of thing that when we see the 90s X-Men animated series, like when characters are...
I'm not gonna mute donos, okay? These guys are willingly donating out of the kindness of their heart. And what do I look like silencing them, okay?
Taken to the astral plane, it tends to be more surreal and metaphorical like this. All right, let's move on.
This Wolverine let down his entire world.
Want to talk about what's haunting you, or should we wait for a third act?
Some be killing the vibe. Bro, dude, these guys, it's like Patreon, bro. What can I do, man? These guys are my patriots. They're my Patreon. They're my Patreonists, man. Yo, and the people telling me to mute donos, you're not even sub, bro. So how are you helping the cause, bro? How are you helping the cause, man? Feed my son. Tell me.
Hey Simon, it's me, your brother from another mother. La boy, you been working out, you looking good, man, you looking real healthy. You heard it here first, the download.
Yo, bro, I wish I could post that on YouTube, bro. That reaction, I feel like that whole reaction was just so good, bro. Oh my god, what a waste.
Flashback.
Go yourself.
Okay, TVA agent Paradox, played by Matthew McFadden, says this Wolverine let down his entire world. And we see Wolverine face down on the floor of the TVA. So yeah, this is a one-shot.
What?
And we see
Oh! Bro, oh my god. I didn't even notice he was there.
Why you ain't post it?
Because it's only available on a certain site, on a certain website, which means you obviously can't post it anywhere else. I even seen if it was on YouTube. There's like just clips. There's someone that posted the full thing. I checked their channel later. It was gone.
Wolverine face down on the floor of the TVA. So yeah, this is a one-shot in both the trailers we've seen so far of Wolverine inside of the TVA. And notice how Paradox has taken a blow to the face with a band-aid covering a broken nose. So who is this Wolverine? I think we're looking at a Wolverine from a different timeline who failed to stop a grisly fate of all the X-Men. It could have been a mutant massacre on Genosha by Cassandra Nova, or like a part of the timeline after the events of Days of Future Past, where the X-Men all started wearing these brightly colored suits that were comic accurate.
But I want our Wolverine.
Wipe them all out. It's worth noting that in the Genosha massacre in X-Men 97, the Watcher was overseeing it, suggesting some kind of
that is actually a scary image.
Multiversal importance.
If it's not my Wolverine, I'm not watching. I can't.
I just want to remind everyone that despite the Fox X-Men films seeming to have forked into 3 to 4 different timelines and it all being kind of confusing to the viewers, one thing that I learned from my rewatch is that from Fox's perspective, at least, they considered these movies to all be part of one shared history, a history that was weird, but then got fixed or retconned by the events of Days of Future Past.
I remember that.
In their eyes, First Class Generation, who we saw in X-Men Apocalypse and X-Men Dark Phoenix, would have aged into the OG cast, but then just kind of lived on a different but normal, typical X-Men life path that would have led to the ending we saw in Days of Future Past and then onto Logan. And that at this point in history, Mr. Sinister would have arisen as the big bad, who was behind this vast plot to experiment on mutants as the rest of mutant kind was bred out of the population through the food supply. But we just never got to see this Mr. Sinister plan because Disney bought Fox before a New Mutants sequel could have led to an
oh my god, why'd they do this shit?
Inferno Goblin Queen movie. That was the original plan. So this Wolverine character could have come from that Fox timeline if it were allowed to live on and didn't end.
Disney literally comes in and just shits on every like thing.
In the 2017 Logan film.
Actually sad.
ImDOntai. That wasn't me. it's a Twitch streamer. I don't know them personally. It's a picture of her holding a cat with designs and stuff. And her Twitch name. W Patriot.
Why did that guy troll you then? I don't, it's a streamer. I don't know why he would care. Like, Especially if he doesn't know you personally. Like, why would he care? That's like someone telling me in chat, like, yo, well, she doesn't have merch, but if she did, yo, I got Danielle's merch. How do you feel about that? Thanks. Thanks, I guess.
Film. Or he could come from an entirely new timeline that we haven't spent a lot of time in. Maybe the X-Men universe that Monica Rambeau ended up in at the end of the Marvels. One that looks a lot more like the colorful X-Men animated series. So we see some great Wolverine Deadpool combat here. Wolverine swipes his claws at Deadpool, who ducks some blows. And behind Wolverine, an older ship with 3 masts and rigging is visible. We did see a similar vessel in Loki episode 5 that I speculated could be the Santa Maria that was Columbus's flagship that struck a reef off the coast of present-day Haiti. And its wreckage was never recovered. And then on the far left, looks like a red and white striped circus tent. And since Hugh Jackman in this movie, I'm just gonna assume that it has to do with The Greatest Showman. Wolverine plunges.
Kid running in Logan. Smiley face. Smiley face.
Oh my God.
Smiley face.
His claws into Deadpool's crotch. Youch! Deadpool fires his guns into Wolverine's sides, and then Wolverine flips his head back right into Deadpool's face. And for a single frame, you can see that the butts of Deadpool's adamantium katanas are initialed DR. Trying to figure out what this is, maybe like Deadpool and Ryan. For what it's worth, in the past, Ryan Reynolds has said that his swords, at least his old ones, before these adamantium ones, those were named B and Arthur because Deadpool loves B. Arthur. So we see Wade sitting.
Oh my gosh, what a dedicated man to his craft. Where you going, Tubby? Where you going, boy?
With Logan in this restaurant, and I love how Wade still has the staples in his head with chunks of hair from where his hairpiece was attached before
W
the TJ
continuity
Hunter ripped it off. And Wade wonders if we'll get to what's haunting Wolverine in a third act flashback, which is really just like a screenwriting trope in which they'll try to humanize the antagonist during the film's climax, like Anton Ego in Pixar's Ratatouille, that Campbell's Soup ad parody. And by the way, there is a theory that the reason the Ratatouille recipe works so well on Anton is that the farmhouse where Remy first glimpsed some recipes with the old woman who shoot him away was the same furniture of the farmhouse that young Anton lived in that flashback, and that Remy was actually making Anton's mom's recipe. But anyway, Ryan Reynolds has all
said
he just literally just went. What did you just say?
Woman who shoot him away was the same furniture of the farmhouse.
This is how my reaction videos are. I just kind of end up on a whole, like, why are we breaking down Ratatouille right now?
Young Anton lived in that flashback, and that Remy was actually making Anton's mom's recipe. But anyway, Ryan Reynolds has always sought to subvert these screenwriting structures.
Any of the X-Men movies, but I want to watch them before I see Deadpool x Wolverine. Is there an order I should watch them, or does it not matter?
Bro, there's like so many movies. You gotta ask chat, bro. I don't even remember. Like, I don't even like. They did something with the timelines where I don't even remember, bro.
Same furniture of the farmhouse that young Anton lived in that flashback, and that Remy was actually making Anton's mom's recipe. But anyway, Ryan Reynolds has always sought to subvert these screenwriting structural tropes, and with the 2016 Deadpool, he kind of interwove Wade's flashback throughout the film in the first and second act, really just leave the third act as all action.
Which is a good call.
In Deadpool 2, he revealed what was haunting Cable with his introduction in Act 2. But Wolverine's response is, go yourself, which is the iconic line he says to Charles in Magneto and X-Men First Class.
Go f yourself.
Okay, so we're just gonna break down the rest of the trailer because there's like Madonna music in it and they're gonna flag us. So Deadpool and Wolverine round a corner past this cart for donuts, bagels, and churros, like the churro carts of Disneyland. There's a neon sign for a bar called Copperheads, and in Marvel Comics there is a Serpent Society villain named Copperhead. Not sure if it's related.
That's the mask.
That Wolverine is now no sleeves, baby, and he looks a lot like he did in the 90s animated series version of the character, down to the red X belt buckle. Yet he doesn't have a mask, and he did take off like the shoulder pad armor parts. He just tore off everything that was there. Reportedly, Hugh Jackman was worried about skin cancer on his arms, which is something that he has dealt with before. So in the exterior shots, over in the dust of the void, the sleeves are on, whereas this setting looks covered. And it might just be me, but I know Hugh Jackman is incredibly jacked, but his arms, maybe they're just hairless, but they do kind of look really smooth. So maybe he's wearing some kind of sleeves, but also I obviously don't know how arms like that are supposed to look. Deadpool is now carrying golden guns, which I think might be a reference to the dual golden guns of Face Off. Face Off definitely seems like the kind of movie Deadpool would reference at this point in the film. The 2016 movie ended with him stapling Hugh Jackman's face over his face. The storefronts behind them include Eastside Pharmacy Medical Center, and then Liefeld's Just Feet, Orthopedic Solutions, and amazing Easter egg. So Rob Liefeld is a co-creator of the Deadpool character, and he has been mocked over the years for his character designs with hulked out heroes with insane proportions, an abundance of pouches,
I remember we watched the video on it.
Inability to draw feet. Notice that the sign also says quality assured free consultation, custom footwear,
I think I watched it
3877. So here in this
by
void,
myself.
the Rob Liefeld, or maybe his variant, who's a foot expert, got pruned from existence, and that could be why the Rob Liefeld of our reality is so bad at drawing feet. There's also a little Sage flowers and gifts. There's a mutant named Sage who was part of the Hellfire Club and recently played a big role on Krakoa, monitoring the gateway
Hellfire
system
Club.
and being part
Stranger
of
Things?
X-Force. Now, in the car, Deadpool shows Wolverine his birthday party Polaroid with his friends, telling Wolverine, I don't know anything about saving worlds, but you do. So it seems like Wade's own reality is under threat. This could connect to the rumored plot device of anchors in this movie, where in every universe there exists one individual whose death triggers the collapse of their universe, like the Owen Reese Molecule Man plot in Jonathan Hickman's Time Runs Out storyline that leads in the 2015 Secret Wars event that Avengers Secret Wars will adapt. And maybe in Wade's universe, it's this lonely suicidal Wolverine in the bar whose soul Deadpool has to save to keep him in place as an anchor. But to save that soul, he has to figure out what makes all Wolverines tick, including this other Wolverine down in the void and other variants that we could see in this movie, like a patch Wolverine from the casino in the Super Bowl trailer, played by Daniel Radcliffe or Taron Egerton. Wait, D.R.
Huh?
Could that be Daniel Radcliffe? I don't know why you would put the actor's name on the ends of his katanas. The more you use something, the more perfect it's gotta be.
Wait,
What?
what?
When are you coming on me again?
Okay.
A suitcase you use once a year, yeah, just give me whatever will fit enough clean underwear for the trip. But underwear? The stuff you wear all the time? Every day? That's gotta be perfect. That's gotta be MeUndies.
That's what that's what I clicked. Oh my gosh, there was 2 links. Okay, all right.
In sizes XS to 4XL, guaranteeing a flattering cut for everybody. Super soft.
Don't put 'em on.
Wearing vegan lounge sustain undies. It's on MeUndies. Good things come in big packages at MeUndies. Get 20%
Oh,
off.
God.
Close up of Wolverine.
He's gonna show his dick.
Snifting smoothly out of their metallic sheaths in his knuckles. And I feel like these slots would also have to be made out of adamantium to contain these claws so well so that they didn't tear through the gloves. So from whatever timeline this Wolverine is from, Professor X and Beast and Forge or whoever it was had to get their hands on additional adamantium and create these awesome gloves. And while I assume the claws that we see here are VFX, they do add these little details to the metal, like surface texturing and smudges and reflections from the neighboring claws that all just make them feel real and super sharp. I just love this shot so much. Okay, next, some incredibly bloody shots in the snowy forest of Deadpool killing these TVA agents. And if you look closely, Deadpool is using a tree branch. So he must be stabbing through this TVA armor with such incredible force to be able to smash through the armor and send pieces of the armor flying upward like that. So we're pretty sure that this setting is North Dakota,
Shut
near
up,
the
bro.
Canadian border, where in
Shut up.
2017's Logan and the Young Mutants spot the Reavers and X-24 on their way to freedom. And this is where Logan is buried. In the Super Bowl trailer, you can see in the background the truck that Richter overturned in that final battle. So maybe Deadpool, finding the felled tree that X-24 impaled Logan on to deliver that killing blow, considers this tree sacred with some kind of divine power, and he just decides to use a branch that he tore off of it to
Oh my
kill
gosh,
these
bro, this is gonna be
the way
so
Logan
good.
died, so that they have to be
YouTube and saw there are a lot of vids of the download reactions. Can you just upload yours at the end of the week?
If their vids are still good and they ain't getting no strike or nothing, I might do it. But for some reason, whenever I upload something, I'm the one that gets a strike or something, bro.
He's glazing gloves. We gotta get Eric Voss on the Download podcast and just watch him and the host out yap and out.
Yo, I feel like not enough people are talking about this because they probably haven't seen the full thing, bro. Nobody's gonna go to that site and buy something.
Feel his pain for desecrating the sacred turf. Okay, the next shot shows the villain of this movie, Cassandra Nova, played by Emma Corrin, coming from the open skull mouth of the corpse of a giant Ant-Man, which we do see a better shot of later. But in this first shot, you see behind her what appears to be a wheelchair that she initially rolled up in.
I did not know that was the female Xavier.
You know this part-timer ain't finna upload she on my mama.
Did you just call me a part-timer? What?
Now she gets up, maybe a kind of like Willy Wonka, I
Sister.
can actually walk, kind of fake out
My bad.
introduction. So could this
Wait, so why is she bald too then?
wheelchair be Charles's chair? Did this Cassandra already kill Charles in her timeline? So just a reminder, Cassandra Nova is known as Charles Xavier's evil twin, but it's actually darker and crazier than that. Cassandra was really Charles's Mumudrai, which is a term from the Shi'ar Empire. The Shi'ar are an alien race who we spent some time with in episode 6 of X-Men 97. A Mumudrai is kind of like a spiritual cosmic shadow self that every person
So
has.
it is an alternate version.
but in the case of Charles Xavier, his advanced telepathy caused his Mumudrai to manifest in flesh, a fetus joining him in the womb. These two fetuses fought, and Charles destroyed her, but part of her clung to life in a sewer and grew into Cassandra Nova, who
How if he killed her in the fucking womb?
comes back for revenge, and Grant Morrison's E is for Extinction storyline in 2001 and 2002.
She's like an
is one of
alien.
the most savage villains in all of X-Men comics. And yes, she does actually wear a tan trench coat and pants and boots looking exactly like this in the comics. So Cassandra in the comics finds in the jungles of Ecuador
a piece survived. This comic book
master
shit.
mold, a giant sentinel printing machine, and uses that and Boulevard Trask to print a wild sentinel, a three-headed kaiju that she deploys against Genosha to kill 16 million mutants.
Should have had Godzilla.
See this massacre in X-Men 97, and we're
Wait, is this show out?
kind of waiting to see if Cassandra Nova is behind this attack, or if it's the doing of another villain that they've introduced in the show.
Oh my God,
like
I'm watching
Sinister, or maybe Bastion or Apocalypse, or maybe all of them. But I just love that casting Emma Corrin, who's best known for playing the younger Diana Spencer in The Crown, as someone who hates, above all else, an Englishman named Charles. That's pretty perfect, right? So Deadpool slashes his adamantium katanas at Wolverine's claws, and going frame by frame,
I didn't
through
know
this,
it's been
I'm
out.
so amazed at
I
Hugh
had no
Jackman's
idea.
rage that Deadpool would have the nerve. Deadpool crosses.
Wait, what streaming service is it on? X-Men. Ain't it gotta be Disney?
His katanas between the first and second of Wolverine's claws to stop the attack. And it looks like the swords have these golden edges. You actually see these golden edges in close-up later as this TVA tailor with the white gloves carefully slides these adamantium katanas into the sheaths on Deadpool's back. And in the CinemaCon footage, this is the guy who keeps slapping Deadpool's ass, and Deadpool tells the other
Decavius, spontaneous, Simon
the TVA employee that this guy's a predator and they need to call HR. Now, this blue van seems to be the same bloody vehicle that Deadpool was in that Super Bowl trailer where the seats were covered in bloody Wolverine claw marks and Deadpool was like waving them in. And now we see Wolverine responding to that, lunging toward Wade in the back seat of this van. But in a wide shot, Deadpool just suddenly flies up through the sunroof. What happened there? Notice you don't really see Wolverine in that particular shot of the car from the outside. And I feel like the slapstick physics could be explained by Deadpool planking atop Wolverine's body, and Wolverine is just like, get the hell off me, and thrust Deadpool in the air because he's so disgusted. And Deadpool just flies because, you know,
X-Men mentioned Ken Carson and Playboy Cardi.
he's like a super lightweight cartoon. Then we get this cool shot of Cassandra Nova sipping a teacup. I might be totally wrong about this, but her teacup looks like it might be patterned with the heraldry of Wrexham AFC. That's
Don't believe the donos. They just be typing shit, bro. They just want to hear it.
Club owned by Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney. You do see what looks like a W and maybe the dragon, but instead of red, it's gold. I might just be seeing things there. But there is this wide shot of the purple cloud of Goliath covering the sun. And in this shot, you can see that it's not just Ant-Man's head. It is the entire
Oh my
giant
God.
body.
I didn't even see
this
it.
detail was inspired by Old Man Logan, the amazing and gnarly
Is She-Hulk breastfeeding? Hey.
comic series where an elderly Logan partners with a blind Clint Barton on this crazy road trip across a post-apocalyptic America.
Max Furiosa. Mad Max. That's another movie I'm looking forward to this year.
Where basically the villains have won, and at one point they pass the corpse of a giant Hank Pym. And now it's not clear if this giant Ant-Man is Hank Pym,
Stop donating,
Michael Douglas,
please.
or Scott Lang.
Stop
Paul
donating.
Rudd. But if it is the latter, he could have come from the Battle of Earth in Avengers Endgame. Also, remember that in the Void in Loki episode 5 was the giant helmet of Yellow Jacket that could be connected to this. But this helmet opens to reveal the skull with the teeth underneath. The fact that Cassandra Nova lives inside of this corpse
hard.
is so cool. It reminds me of characters in the MCU using the skull of the Celestial Nova.
The good old days of Marvel, man. I remember watching these movies in theaters, bro.
Where as a place to live. Also, the rumors that the corpse of Tiamat, the Celestial, could be used.
And this is was this Eternals chat, or what were they called? Something like that. This is when. Hey guys, we've got Angelina Jolie in our movie. You gotta see it.
as the Avengers' new base, like how in the comics the Avengers turned the progenitor into Avengers Mountain at the North Pole. Now, in the shot of Cassandra inside of this place later, it almost looks like she could be building some kind of cerebro inside that skull, but I actually think this is specific to being Ant-Man's corpse. In Quantumania, Scott Lang entered the quantum realm's probability storm, where his brain became entangled with all other Scott Langs in the multiverse, and that could have done something to his brain matter, as well as the minds of all other Scotts. Like Cassandra could be using this particular weird brain to amplify her telepathy throughout the multiverse. Now, this giant Ant-Man reveal is just the master shot of the trailer because it has so much in it, so many cameos. So
I've seen the devil.
There, that's Azazel, the devilish teleporting member of the Hellfire Club from X-Men First Class, played by Jason Fleming. He's back, as well as Lady Deathstrike from X2 X-Men United, played by Kelly Hu. You can also see Aaron Stanford Pyro on the background right, seated on his vehicle as he was back in the Super Bowl trailer. And then on the left, that is Callisto, Danya Ramirez, leader of the Omegas from X-Men The Last Stand, and then crouching beside her with the green hair, that is Toad, Ray Park, returning to the very first X-Men film in 2000. He also, of course, played Darth Maul. And
what?
Star Wars The Phantom Menace. And then all the way on the left in the foreground, you don't even really notice him at first because his face is covered, but notice that long blonde hair. I'm pretty sure this is Sabretooth, Tyler Mane, who would also be returning for that first film. Meanwhile, the bulky dude in the red and white striped shirt, this could be the Russian who is played by wrestler Kevin Nash in Thomas Jane's 2004 The Punisher. Now, what the mutant characters have in common is that they were all villains from the X-Men universe 10005, as it is currently designated, and all these characters died. Like Wolverine killed Lady Deathstrike by plugging her with liquid adamantium in Stryker's lab. Azazel was killed off-screen by Bolivar Trask's experiments between X-Men First Class and Days of Future Past. Toad and Sabretooth both died in the Liberty Island battle. Callisto was knocked out by Storm and was for sure obliterated by Phoenix when she wiped out everyone on Alcatraz.
Holy
Pyro,
shit.
presumed obliterated as well, but in the Days of Future Past Rogue Cut, there is a memorial that includes Pyro's Zippo lighter, implying that he would have died sometime after that. I think the implication of the pruned 20th century Fox logo and the fact that it's not 21st century tells us that there was some incursion with Earth 10005 and that this entire history from the Fox era was erased. And maybe some souls might have been lucky and spared and reassigned to other universes, but these were the misfits who were left behind to waste. The vehicles in the shot are also worth mentioning because in the background on the left, that is the Fantastic Four Model 1, aka the Flying Bathtub, a version of which we saw in Fantastic Four Rise of the Silver Surfer, a movie that we're breaking down this weekend on New Rockstars. But on the right is the V16 coupe of Red Skull from Captain America, the First Avenger. But notice in the next shot, that Hydra Mercedes hood ornament has been replaced with an Iron Man head, and it has been painted to have the flames on black decor of Tony Stark's Roadster hot rod from the 2008 Iron Man film. This is so cool. So my hot take is that the masked driver of this vehicle could be, wait for it, Terrence Howard, the original Rhodey, pruned to the void. Now Terrence Howard parted ways with Marvel under bitter terms before Iron Man 2 when Don Cheadle replaced him, but maybe the part as scripted in the script could give him a chance to get the last laugh. If it's not Terrence Howard, my guess is that it's going to be someone else from Tony Stark's orbit. Maybe Harley Keener, maybe Christine Everhart, or maybe William Ginter Riva. Like the guy could have figured out how to make something from a box of scraps. I just listed a couple lower tier actors because, you know, their budget for cameos is not unlimited in this movie. Also in the background of this V16 shot is the Golden Gate Bridge.
I think that's like, that's a lot, bro.
The Last Stand. We see Wolverine.
Ooh, that R8. Rather nice engine on cars, guys. I'm Krista, by the way. Lose that.
Gargling with a bottle of Jack Daniels, and I assume this is his man cave where he lives. And we know from a later shot in the trailer that this is the same location that has the giant jaw.
There's nothing better than the sound of an R8 humming and purring through the streets of Los Angeles Sunday. On a Saturday afternoon.
Framed bed that Hulk slept on in Thor Ragnarok. There's a quick cameo by Dogpool wearing little shoes while the Hulk links Deadpool with the longest, most disgusting tongue.
Insane.
And notice that they are in front of Liefeld's just feet as it explodes. Then we get this Mad Max Fury Road type shot of one of these scavengers raining 4 motorcycles like horses. The one closest to us is the Hydra motorcycle from Captain America, the First Avenger. You can see the Hydra logo near the bottom of it. One of these other motorcycles is definitely the one Steve Rogers rode in that film. The vehicle that they are towing is the one that has the Canadarm attachment used with the NASA Space Shuttle Columbia. And the dish on the end of that arm looks like the Bifrost pattern, and I think it's used to repel or to summon Alioth.
Yo, really think about it. We got satellites in that's just in space right now. In space. That's allowing for like y'all to like all this shit to happen and call people in. Like humans, like, you know, as much as they fuck shit up, bro, they get shit done. They get shit done, bro.
An explosion rocks these 4 guys, and if you look closely at the walls behind them, these are actually the gloved fingers of the giant Ant-Man functioning as the gates to this compound. And that's such a cool detail. In Cassandra's lair, Wolverine tries to attack, but she telekinetically redirects his arms into his own leg. Emma Corrin is so fun to watch here. The face they make as Cassandra puppets Wolverine, it's almost as if to say, wah wah, so close. Also, take a look at Cassandra's fingers. Is it just me, or do they look super long? Did they digitally enlarge Emma
I thought it was like the
hands to make
camera,
Cassandra
maybe.
look more villainous? I don't know. It may just be the anamorphic lens that they seem to be using for a lot of these
Yeah,
shots.
I think it was just like the
especially
camera.
noticeable in the money shot of the giant Ant-Man head.
Yo, doesn't my
compound where you see all the
finger look so
cameos.
long?
Like, notice how the edges of that frame are just kind of like a little out of focus, a little like artistic brushstrokey. That's what an anamorphic lens does as opposed to a spherical lens. But then we see Cassandra directing Wolverine's claws into the floor.
So I remember when people do this. Yo, I got a wobbly pen. Yeah, it's so wobbly and it's not hard at all. Here, you want to hold it? Like, what was the point of doing this shit, bro? This was like so stupid. This was so stupid. Like,
I'm just kidding. It's actually a hard pencil. So, what do you think about V8s? You want to go out later? Would you want to go to prom with me? You want to hear my love language? What do you think of brass?
yo, Christian, I'm fucking with you, dog.
And notice how even this floor
I'm
is
fucking with you.
I missed the Transformers discussion, but here is a few behind-the-scenes clips I threw together that are really cool. Sorry for
Transformers.
the quality, it's pretty old footage.
Robots in disguise. Is liking cars weird? No, I didn't say that, bro. That should be so funny, though. Yo, fellas, is it gay to hug your girlfriend?
textured in some interesting way. It's almost like she scavenged this floor from somewhere else. And I want to say it could be like the walls of Camertage. It kind of just looks like there's different patterns and pieces to this floor with some like, engravings on them. Okay, so Wolverine.
Is that Daniel Radcliffe as Wolverine? Is that Ant-Man? BRO. Is that the girl from X-Men 2? Is that an R8? Nigger.
Shut up. Sorry, love you.
Floor. And notice how even this floor is textured in some interesting way. It's almost like she scavenged this floor from somewhere else. And I want to say it could be like the walls of Camertage. It kind of just looks like there's different patterns and pieces to this floor with some like engravings on them. Okay, so Wolverine and Deadpool leap from their van, and the grip guards of Deadpool's katanas have these little Deadpool eyes on them. So when Deadpool stabs someone, the last thing they would see is just another little Deadpool face staring at them. Both Deadpool then Wolverine say, "Let's go!" And then they take the huge leap from the eye hole of the Ant-Man's skull, and then they leap into a sling ring portal. And one of these must have been cast by a sorcerer, maybe Doctor Strange, or Wong, or the Ancient One, or America Chavez, or Rintra, or I guess technically Ned? In Spider-Man No Way Home, sling ring portals just like this were used to open a rift between universes to get the Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire Peter Parker.
Bruh. Ah, man. I just remember the theater. The sounds of the theater, bro.
Just like this were used to open a rift between universes to get the Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire
Why'd y'all say ew?
Peter Parkers into the MCU. And I feel like that's where these two are headed. And I love how the lighting within Alioth behind this portal flickers just as they cross the portal threshold, which gives the shot some great purple versus gold color contrast as these two are silhouetted on white. And it recalls how in Spider-Man No Way Home, the purple reality rifts showed incursions between universes. Now notice how this trailer whites out the destination. I don't think it's gonna look like that in the movie. I think they just left it blank in this trailer to avoid a huge spoiler.
That's a good point.
And it lets our imaginations wander to fill in that blank canvas. But think about it. What setting would be so iconic that we would recognize it immediately?
Endgame.
I'm thinking this is going to be one of the portals that Wong opened to the front line of the Battle of Earth and Avengers Endgame. And we're going to cycle back to that moment. And right as he says you wanted more, Deadpool and Wolverine are going to walk right into frame. And we're going to see a replay of the Battle of Earth.
Oh, please do that. Please do that, bro. There's so much opportunity just some funny shit, bro.
We're gonna hear Deadpool say, "I am Deadpool," as he snaps the Infinity Stone in Tony Stark's place to kill Thanos. Because the CinemaCon footage gave us this little tease that we see Deadpool in Thor's arms from Svartalfheim and Thor the Dark World, where Loki died. And Paradox says it's a distant future. But really, I think what they're saying with that is that Deadpool could cycle into any iconic MCU moment. So why not I Am Iron Man? And also in the
Oh my God, please.
On footage, there was another moment that showed an earlier scene of the movie where Peter says, "We are Deadpool," and Deadpool rejects that. And I think the way Ryan Reynolds says, "I am Marvel Jesus."
I am Marvel Jesus.
I think this is to set him up to say Tony Stark's big line to say the MCU's anchor, Tony Stark, for him to say, I am Deadpool. But I just saw this. If you look closely, you can see Cassandra Nova to the left of Wolverine as he's jumping through the portal, just on the edge of the sparks there, in the background, smiling at them with a raised eyebrow. And I think that might be blood on her mouth. So clearly she wants them to make this jump, and maybe she plans on following them. Okay, the trailer ends with Wade and Blind Al at his birthday party, which was also in the CinemaCon footage.
Want to do some cocaine?
Hey, cocaine is the one thing that Feige said is off limits.
What about Bolivian marching
Just a little
band?
bump.
They know all the slang terms. They have a list.
Even snowboarding?
Even disco dust.
White girl interrupted?
Even forest bump.
So this pillow behind Al is the Smoko Macho Nacho Mochi plushie. It's a nacho dead from hot sauce. So basically what Conan O'Brien looks like now, I assume. Blind Al's cocaine calls back the past two films when their cocaine stash was hidden beneath the floorboards near The Cure for Blindness. Among their euphemisms for cocaine are White Girl Interrupted, a nod to the 1999 film with Winona Ryder and Angelina Jolie and Brittany Murphy, as well as Forrest Bump, which other than rhyming with Forrest Gump, I choose to think it's a reference to how Forrest Gump can't stop running. Or maybe a reference to when Jenny tried to jump off a ledge after doing lines. Now, to be clear, cocaine was referenced in the MCU in an episode of Ms. Marvel, so Feige doesn't have that hard of a rule against it. But Blind Al ends this by saying, do you want to build a snowman? Of course, referencing Frozen, and Wade says that he does want to, but can't. And it reminds us how in Deadpool 2, Wade watches the Barbra Streisand music.
How was he able to get that one out? How was he able to get that line out?
Film Yentl and makes this observation.
Can you hear me? Is it just me, or do you want to build a snowman from Frozen sound suspiciously like Papa, can you hear me from you?
So we must end this trailer breakdown with our Taylor Swift Dazzler watch. If you have been following New Rockstars, you know that since the NFL playoffs, I've been looking closely at Taylor Swift's connections to Ryan Reynolds and Sean Levy and Hugh Jackman to see if she could cameo in this movie, maybe to play the mutant Dazzler, as it seemed like she was expected to in 2016's X-Men Apocalypse.
Huh?
She was like friends with Sophie Turner, and there's like a photo of her with like a Dazzler album cover. And I was totally ready to just give up on this theory, but then last week, Taylor Swift releases her new album, The Tortured Poets Department, and the final track on the standard edition of that album, Clara Bow, ends with her singing this word.
The future's bright, dazzling.
Dazzling. I mean, come on. Taylor Swift is known for Easter eggs in her songs pointing to her past boyfriends, including Tom Hiddleston.
Wait a minute. Taylor Swift is literally goated. Wait, y'all not rocking with Taylor Swift? Y'all not rocking with Taylor Swift and Deadpool? Oh my gosh. Wait. Taylor Swift. Chat, I have to listen to this song out of respect. Out of respect. Out of respect.
Dazzling.
Dazzling. I mean, come
Chat, what's the name of the song? Come on. Dazzling. What did he say?
Clara Bow ends with her singing this word.
The
On the last week, Taylor Swift releases her new album, The Tortured Poets Department, and the final track on the standard edition of that album, Clara Bow, ends with her singing this word.
The future's bright, dazzling.
Dazzling. I mean, come on. Taylor Swift is known for Easter eggs in her songs pointing to her past boyfriends, including Tom Hiddleston, and her future career moves. I'm not saying this is like a smoking gun, but the clues are at least pointing in that direction. Comment down below with what you love the most about this trailer. Follow me at EA Voss. Subscribe to all 3 channels in the New Rockstars.
My favorite part of the trailer, about the trailer was you breaking it down.
Network for breakdowns and news coverage of everything you love. Thanks for watching.
Dazzling.
And I'll see you next time. Bye.
My absolute favorite when it comes to breaking down shit, man. When it comes to breaking down shit, nobody breaks it down harder than Eric motherfucking Voss. Dazzling. Chat, it's called The Manuscript.